Very important foundation of our body is the immunity. And first of all, let's have a special lecture on immunity. The Professor Kang JinHan is a doctor at the Catholic University of Korea, and Kang JinHan is the professor of Vaccine via Research Institute. He is also the chairman of the Korea Science and Technology Commission, and he's going to talking about the effect of HemoHIM and the immune system. And let's invite Mr. Kang, Professor Kang, to the stage. The research lab conducted a study for 5 years, and we found the special formula only for the immunity, Atomy HemoHIM. Hello, I'm Kang JinHan at the Catholic University of Korea Medical School. I'm very pleased to meet you here, and I'm very honored to present in front of you. Furthermore, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, especially Chairman Park and all of the executive members of Atomy. Thank you very much. From 1985, since 1985, I've been working as a professor of the Catholic University. Of course, I've retired 5 years ago, but I majored in the immunity and vaccine, so I've been kept studying on this, and I am studying the vaccines and immune materials and so on. And I'm also doing a lot of clinical trial, especially in 2009, we had a flu incident, and there novel influenza, and I was also engaged in that project to cure that disease. And the biggest reason that I'm standing here is now to share my experience and opinion on HemoHIM. And I'm very marvelized by the effect of the HemoHIM. About HemoHIM, there have been 18 articles of SCI. Through my 40 years of experience, I wrote over 100 articles on the SCI. But HemoHIM is the one and only one that wrote over 18 articles on SCI. I think it is only not only in the domestic arena, but also in the global arena. It is really difficult for one product to write 3 articles at least. And the ordinary people might not understand the details of the articles, but since I am the expert in this field, I could feel and I could exactly know the importance of this product. So I want to introduce the effect of the HemoHIM, and I accepted the invitation of Atomy, and that's how I am standing on the stage to introduce the product HemoHIM. This is the contents of my presentation, and let me briefly talk about what immunity is and why our health is so important. As you are aware of, immunity serves the role in countering the internal and external element that damage the body, and it could also prevent the inflammations in the body. And the system related to this is the immune system, and this immune system is evolved following the times, because the times has all different reasons of diseases. So in order to catch up the speed of the changes, our body developed and our body evolved with the immune system. Let's say that our immune system is damaged. Our body could not protect us from diseases. You might have a lot of infectious diseases, cancer diseases, and inflammatory diseases. So our health is closely related to the immune system. And this immune system differs from the age. The neonatal period under 3 months has the lowest protection ability, like lowest immune system. So sometimes some diseases could make us to the death because we have really low immune system under the age of 3 months. We are now celebrating the 100 days of the birth because before, a lot of babies died before they get to the age of 100 days because they have really low immune system, immune ability. And then from 9 to 12, we have a learning period, and the children might get diseases 3 times or 5 times a year. And after having this kind of diseases, our body gets to know the details of the diseases. After this learning period from until like 50 years, we could have the normal immune system. We need to keep the immunity well in order to live a very healthy life. And after the age of 50s, our immune system will get aged. And when at the age of 65, we will only have 5 immune system, and after 8 years, the immune system will go deteriorated further and further. We are living in the era of the Homo 100, and the number of the elderly people is increasing right now. Right now, 7.8 million people is over 65 years old, and in about several years, a third of the population will over 65 years old, and we need to take care of their health, and we need to protect them from diseases. And the important thing is the immune system. And if let's say that our immune system is getting aged, and we need to take care of the immune system better than before.
So there have been a lot of research to test and evaluate immune system, and it depends on genes and many other situations. So we need some experts and organizations with expertise to evaluate the entire immune system, but it is still very hard to get the entire picture, and it is done only by experts. So I said it is an immune system. We have 3 systems: external response system, natural system, and acquired immunity. For the external immunity, it's like a barrier, like our skin and our mucous membrane as well. They are barriers to block any external bacteria from coming into our body. And cough, sneezing, cough, sneezing, all those things are our external defense system. So we need those sneezing and cough to get those bad things out of our body. So that is why many doctors will tell you that you need to cough a lot after a surgery. So when the barrier falls down, then those bacteria or those other things would come into our body, and it's when the natural immunity would come in. That is something that you would have from very young age. And for example, some immune system can kill the cancer cells. There are many different immune cells. This natural immune system, their role is performed within a very short period of time, a few hours or a few days. So that means we have tons of soldiers. They are working together within a very short period of time. And there is another characteristic. I said starting from the age of 50, your immunity would get older, would get weaker. and you would have the natural immunity still in your body. And when we have the cancer, we still have the natural immune cells. And those older people or those patients, for them, this kind of natural immunity, immune cells are a sense of hope. It's because from them you can improve the immune system, and HemoHIM can activate this natural immune cells. It is based on a lot of scientific research. And another characteristic of this natural immune cells, it can deliver some information to the acquired immunity. So the acquired immune system can tell what the problem is. So these are the characteristics of natural immune cells, and especially NK cell, natural killer cells. It is created in lymphatic glands, not in marrow. And it can cure those heart cells, and it can play a role both in natural immune system and also acquired immune system. So with activated NK cells, we can get a lot of help, and a lot of research results shows that HemoHIM can activate NK cells. And regarding acquired immunity, during COVID-19 era, you got a tough time, right? You need to be vaccinated, and you need to take some food with immune function, and you need to take a lot of rest, right? But COVID-19 is something that you would get again and again, right? So it cannot be recorded through the memory function of acquired immunity. But those acquired immunity have the cytokine, which is T-lymph. They have the memory. For example, those who got a flu measles when they were very young, they will not get any measles later on because their lymph would remember that disease. So that is why we recommend older people to get immunized, because their acquired immunity would become weaker, but they still have the memory. And by through vaccination, they can strengthen the memory. And that way, their immunity can be maintained very well. This is called memory maintenance for the immunity, and that way we can maintain elderly citizens' acquired immunity. To sum up, those natural immunity is something that you have from a very young age, and it can help you cure very severe diseases. And natural immunity can be very activated, and that way those elderly citizens can have a sense of hope. For the acquired immunity, it is kind of tailored immunity, and it can be strengthened through immunization. So I was so impressed by the role of HemoHIM. Why? I have been researching vaccines for immunity, and I do a lot of animal tests. And Chairman Park said recently we don't actually do animal tests anymore, but actually we have a lot of CSI papers and research results showing very scientific proof for HemoHIM and immunity. Actually, in Korea, there's no other materials that was proven scientifically. So I want to show you as an expert. First of all, getting older. From animal test, we create a standard older animal and younger animal. And we have a very important threshold, NK cells, and interleukin, a very specific cytokine, and the level would go down. And with HemoHIM, the older animals would have higher level of those things. And we get older because of lack of certain chemicals, but HemoHIM can actually provide that chemical which would make you longer, and that is the part that impressed me. And during the radiation treatment, HemoHIM can play a role. For those cancer patients, they have to do the radiation treatment. They cannot stop it for the purpose of treatment. That way that they can cure cancer, but those normal organizations would be hurt. For example, marrow and liver. So targeted treatment is a trend, but still those normal organs would be hurt. But HemoHIM can play a role, can reduce those harmful effects, and it can also accelerate recovery. Apoptosis in marrow, the reduction of apoptosis would also reduce, and natural immunity can be recovered. So for 3 consecutive times, the research verified the effect of HemoHIM, and it is not easy to become very successful for 3 consecutive tests. And another thing is about cancer. Chairman Park also said that anti-cancer drugs is to attack cancer, but during the period of treatment, other normal cells can also be affected. Melanoma, they can cause skin cancer. We compared the anti-cancer drug, Arm A anti-cancer drug and Arm B anti-cancer drug plus HemoHIM. The result shows Arm B got better result and effect and lesser side effect, which is very amazing for cancer patients. I have a lot of parents whose children are diagnosed with cancer. Actually, I recommend them to have HemoHIM, but it is not kind of official. It is not official prescription. We have those animal tests, animal model. It is the most scientific way to prove a certain drug, and HemoHIM has this kind of scientific proof. We have inflammation for respiratory system, and also digestive system. And the paper results, research results shows that HemoHIM can reduce those factors that can cause inflammation. And for immunity, we need to have a balance. With immunity balance, all the functions of organs can be recovered. So those diabetic patients, they don't have enough insulin cells secretion, and with HemoHIM, the cells can be recovered. This is also the research result. And from marrow, we have a lot of natural immune cells, and those immune cells can also be activated by HemoHIM. To sum up, for elderly citizens, for those with underlying diseases, HemoHIM can provide a good help, and when taken with radiation treatment, it can reduce side effects and enhance effectiveness, and it can also reduce inflammation, and it can control immunity. I want to add two more things. So if you look at 18 papers, and there is one common thing. HemoHIM can activate natural immune cells, and that way immunity is maintained, and tailored key lymph immunity can also be enhanced. The 18 papers, all of them are saying that result, and most of those kind of papers actually talk about some kinds of ingredients, but it is quite amazing to see HemoHIM, the product name, not the ingredients, and such scientific research. It is scientific product, scientific evidence-based product. So HemoHIM is not something that came out of nothing, but it is the result of repetitive scientific research with very clear evidence. You can be very proud of HemoHIM. Regarding immunity, what is the most important is in intestines immunity. It is very complicated. In our body, intestines have the largest number of immune cells, 70%. But we have microbiome. You might have heard of this term. We have very helpful bacteria and harmful bacteria. They are living together in intestines, and we have tons of billions of bacteria living together. And they are called microbiome. Their role is very important. We need to maintain their role and balance so that the immune cells inside the intestines can play a role. Hippocrates once said that all diseases come from intestines. That means immunity of intestines is very important. When it is not healthy, you will get diseases. So because 70% of immune cells are inside the intestines, so we need to strike the balance between those good bacteria and bad bacteria. So when the intestine mucous membrane are hurt, it will be the entire intestine organ will be hurt. First of all, you need to take a lot of fiber. Why? The water-soluble dietary fiber can provide energy for your intestines. Those Western food hurt intestine mucous membrane. For example, a lot of before the 1990s, we didn't really have a lot of cases for cancer, but after having those Western food, we got to see a lot of patients with those diseases. So we have a lot of patients with colorectal cancer and breast cancer for women, and this is the result of dietary change. And we need to select the right item to maintain our intestine immunity and microbiome. I believe the most important thing is to maintain the intestine mucus membranes. So the microbiome can also help with our heart, liver, brain, everything in our body. So it is very important to maintain the balance and health of microbiome in intestine. This is something we need to pay attention. Lastly,
let's talk about the infectious diseases, inflammatory diseases, cancer diseases, autoimmune diseases, metabolism diseases. And if you think about how we control this, we could say it is our dietary habit, and we need to get the vaccines as much as possible when we get order. And we need to create the microbiome via probiotics, and also we can take HemoHIM, which is a patent product for the immune system. I also listened to Chairman Park's lecture, and Chairman Park always says that we have the absolute quality and absolute price, and I agree with the fact that HemoHIM is the absolute quality, absolute price, and I hope that this product could be beneficial to all of the people. That's all. Thank you.